It is now Sunday, and surprisingly, it's actually warmer out than I thought it would be. I mean, don't get me wrong, it's still cold. Like, it's still below freezing. And by below freezing, I mean 32 Fahrenheit. But, considering that yesterday was like, I think the lowest it got to was like 11, at least when I went running yesterday. Up to like 28, which is what I believe it was last time I checked, is still pretty good. But you don't want to hear about that. You want to hear about other things that are, going on today. So, yep. Good morning, and as usual, happy Sunday, everyone. Just a nice, relaxing Sunday. Getting the weekend done, and just sort of relaxing, anxiously awaiting for the Pro Bowl to start. It's weird, like I never hear like enough about the Pro Bowl. I love talking about. I love the Pro Bowl. The best athletes from all 32 teams. Playing against each other. That's pretty good. And as a Cowboys fan, some of my beloved Cowboys are definitely representing. You got Dak and Zeke and Amari Cooper and DeMarcus Lawrence, Byron Jones, and I think Tyron Smith and Zach Martin. I forget, but those are definitely the people who come to mind when I think Dallas Cowboys who should or always go to the Pro Bowl. Oh right, and Leighton Vander Esch, he's going too. The Wolf Hunter, the tackling Dutchman. That guy is awesome. So, yeah. I mean, don't get me wrong, I'm always going to be a little bummed that the Cowboys are no longer are not going to the Super Bowl. Even more bummed that the team that beat us is going to the Super Bowl. Surprisingly, though, it has nothing to really do with the particular play in question. For those of you who don't know, during the NFC Championship between the Saints and the Rams, there was a blown call. It was a pass interference, and not only was it pass interference, but one of the rules is you can't collide your helmet into another helmet, and in this particular hit was also helmet to helmet, and basically it's about as bad as you can possibly go when it comes to things you're not supposed to do as an NFL player. And the call was it was never called. I mean, the guy who did it even said that he did it. It's clear as day, but no, it wasn't called. And everyone's saying that that's the play that cost the Saints to go to the Super Bowl, and that's why the Rams are going. My personal thought of that is, in a football game, in an NFL game especially, you have, say, 100 plus plays altogether from both teams. And yes, some plays definitely matter more than others, but the blown pass interference call really is not the only bad thing that happened to the Saints in that game. It really isn't. I mean, heck, the very first play of the game, the Saints had the ball, and Drew Brees threw an interception. That's definitely a pretty bad thing to happen to the Saints, especially that early in the game. Again, it just goes to show you there's like hundreds of possible things that can happen throughout the course of a game that, yes, can impact who ends up winning. I think a lot of people are just upset because, again, this is the NFC Championship. The winner of this game goes to the Super Bowl. And even though, and one could argue that, yeah, technically, it is a very bad call. I'm not going to sugarcoat it. It's pretty bad. But referring to it as like the sole reason why the Saints are not in the Super Bowl right now is kind of a stretch. It is. But that's just me. You know, in the end, the Saints ended up losing in overtime. So no, unfortunately I didn't get the Super Bowl that I predicted. I mean, technically one of the teams that I did predict, who funny enough are the Rams, are in the Super Bowl, but not the Chiefs. So I guess if I were, I mean, I still have an entire week before I ultimately decide who I'm picking for the Super Bowl, to win. So right now I'm still more on the undecided aspect of who I want. But it's interesting that we have a game like this particular matchup, because it was this matchup 17 years ago that began Tom Brady's era as, this great quarterback. And, funny enough, the only Brady I had even heard of was like that old 70s show, The Brady Bunch. So I'm like, that guy is the same last name as the people on that show. That's pretty cool. And then he ended up winning the Super Bowl that year, and I'm thinking, I think I should probably pay attention to that guy. And I think it was like a year later they would go to the Super Bowl again, and, shock. They won again. Like, okay, this guy is for real. And then came, I do believe, when I was in 8th grade is what it was. Yeah, it was 8th grade. And, everyone was picking the Carolina Panthers to win that Super Bowl. The Carolina, I'm like, did you guys not see the last time that the Patriots, particularly Tom Brady, was in the Super Bowl? I'm pretty sure Tom Brady could win this. And no kidding, I was probably the only person in the entire city of Horseheads, because I was at Horseheads Middle School at the time, that actually predicted Tom Brady and the Patriots would win. And I was right. Don't worry, though, I didn't. I mean, don't get me wrong, bragging rights are the best kind of rights, but there is a time and place, and I simply chose not to do it then, because I felt that it was not the time nor the place. So, then we get to, the undefeated Patriots, and, you can make the accusations of cheating all you want. Personally, I was just upset that, the Cowboys, who were probably the one team that actually did the best against the Patriots during that season, ended up not going. Which really bummed me out, because outside of the Giants, Dallas actually got the closest to beating the Patriots that year. So it would make sense that it would be a Patriots Cowboys Super Bowl. Excuse me. Which is still the showdown that was always meant to be, by the way. So, yeah, so when Eli Manning beats Brett Favre in the NFC Championship at Lambeau Field. Oh yeah, the NFC Championship is at Lambeau Field in Green Bay, which is considered to be the coldest stadium in the NFL. Then the Giants won. They ended up going. Interesting fact about the NFC Championship. Believe it or not, literally the day after the NFC Championship is when I actually went up for an interview for Trinity Pauling. Yeah. It all comes full circle. Like, wait, was it Trinity Pauling? Was it? No, wait, no, it was. It was to one of the prep schools that, I think it was Suffield? I looked at, like, several prep schools for a postgraduate year. Obviously I looked at Trinity Pauling, which is where I ended up going. I also looked at Suffield, which I do believe is the place we ended up going after the NFC Championship. And I also looked at Wilbraham and Munson. That was a really bad trip. For quick tangent, Wilbraham and Munson is like all the way in Massachusetts, and my brother was going to Boston College at the time, and my parents knew that I had wrestling practice the next morning, because I do believe he had like the day off or whatever from school, but we started to go for athletic practices or whatever. So my parents were like, Hal's only an hour out of our way. Let's go see him and spend another hour and a half getting dinner, dropping him back off, and get home. We didn't get back till 1 o'clock in the morning. And I didn't get to wrestling practice by like I think wrestling practice started at 9. So yeah, I couldn't even get my full 8 hours of sleep. That's not very good. I'm like, really? Oh, well, the point is I ended up going to Trinity Poly anyway, and you guys know the rest. Anyway, so the Patriots end up losing their undefeated streak to the Giants, and they end up, not going, and they end up not winning. And the next time they end up going to the Super Bowl was a rematch with the Giants, or as I like to refer to it as Giants-Patriots round 2. And I didn't really get the chance to explain this yet, but in both Giants-Patriots Super Bowls, I really rooted for the Giants. Not that I hated Tom Brady or anything, it's just, I have a soft spot for the underdog, and whether or not you liked the Giants at that time, you gotta admit, they were the underdogs. So, yeah, I ended up rooting for the Giants again, and, that was great. And then Super Bowl 49 goes around, and the Patriots go again, and they beat my uncle Seahawks by probably the dumbest play calling in the history of the NFL that I've ever seen. And then Super Bowl 51 happens, which, if you guys remember what I said a week ago, I'll give you a refresher. Do not ever give number 12 the ball at the beginning of overtime. That is the moral of Super Bowl 51. And Super Bowl 52, the Patriots won again. At least it's what I like telling myself in my head, because good Lord do I hate the Eagles. So now we're here. As for who I have a week until I can make my final call as to who I want to win the Super Bowl. But would it surprise me if the Patriots ended up winning? No. Would it surprise me if the Rams ended up winning? Also no. So, again, I guess I'll just leave it up to what I'm going with my gut feeling. I'll go with my gut feeling on this. I mean, right now I guess I am sort of leaning on the Patriots, only because as a Cowboys fan I'm still sore that we lost to the Rams. But at the same time, if something happens throughout the course of the week that makes me change my mind, and, stuff like that happens. A lot can happen in the span of a week. We all know this. If something happens that makes me change my mind, that wouldn't surprise me at all. So, yeah. Right now, I'm just gonna relax, get myself some breakfast. Maybe I'll go get myself some Dunkin'. I don't know yet. Haven't had Dunkin' in a good while. Donuts. Anyway, yep, that's all I have for right now. So, yeah, just please be sure to like, favorite, share, and hit that subscribe button. I could really use support on YouTube. Follow me on the social media platforms: YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and Tumblr. And as always, I am very humbled I made this video for all of you guys to watch and enjoy for today. I'm hopeful that we all have a wonderful Sunday. And remember, if any of you guys ever want to talk or chat, I'm always going to be here to lend an ear. And I will always have your back. Take care, and have a wonderful Sunday. Oh, wait, hold on. Cannot be a weekend video without the bear.